I'm getting on to my beginning of my 52-week course of Immerse. It's one of my Amazon.com purchases, and I'm very excited to finally get into it because it's been sitting in my bookshelf for forever. I've already read the introduction, but I gave it as a gift of what my food for knowledge is to a specific friend who I really adore. But I'll get into the first chapter, maybe it is, which is titled, What is Resilient Living? Your happiness, stress level, risk of depression, and resilience are influenced by three interacting factors: your genes, circumstances, and the choices you make. Though the contribution of each of these things varies in different studies, approximately half the variability in your happiness depends on a combination of genetic predisposition and life situations, with the rest half depending on the choices you make. While you have a little control over your genes and the pace with which the world changes around you, you have incredible and often untapped ability to choose your thoughts, words, and actions based on your highest ideals. Through exercising this option, you can live with resilience. Immerse, a 52 weeks course, quote unquote, in resilient living, is designed to help you in this process. Let's first understand what is resilience. Whether it be coping with a loss, arguing with a teenager recovering from an illness, dealing with a difficult client, or resisting a donut you draw from a well of energy to negotiate the ups and downs of life, that energy is resilience. Resilience is a core strength you use to lift the load of life. Resilience helps you withstand adversity, bounce back from life's downturns, and grow with each adversity. Resilience helps you develop the foresight to prevent future adversity. And think of someone you personally know who you truly admire for his or her ability to withstand different challenges. How would you describe that person's positive attributes? I have asked this question of thousands of people. Here's the synthesis of the answers I've received. Resilient people, bullet 1, are emotionally strong. Bullet 2, are kind, gentle, and patient. Bullet 3, are grateful for life's little and larger blessings. Bullet 4, are compassionate, even amid personal stress. Bullet 5, are gracious in forgiving others. Bullet 6, live a life of purpose. Bullet 7, are filled with love and wisdom. Bullet 8, live their days with intentionality and aren't quick to judge others. Bullet 9, live for others. Bullet 10, often have a strong anchor of faith. Resilience has two core domains, physical and psycho-spiritual, with the latter having three components: cognitive, emotional, and spiritual. Physical resilience. Physically resilient people feel sick less often and recover quickly from an illness. Healthy diet, active lifestyle, adequate sleep, self-care, and good quality medical help all contribute to physical resilience, while physical resilience contributes to overall resilience. You don't have to be in perfect health to be resilient. In fact, some of the most inspiring examples of resilience come from people struggling with serious medical conditions. Cognitive resilience. Cognitive resilience is your ability to maintain focus, judgment, insight, and decision-making skills amid life's difficulties. Cognitively resilient people aren't just intelligent, they preserve their intelligence even when feeling overwhelmed. They are excellent at handling deadlines and are the last to buckle under pressure. Emotional resilience. Emotional resilience is frequently experiencing positive emotions and recovering quickly from negative emotions. Emotionally resilient people are humble, kind, gentle, and patient, both towards others and themselves. They are flexible and are pragmatically optimistic. You'll generally find them calm and happy and able to look at the bright side in an adverse situation. One of the single most important contributor to emotional resilience is personal experience with overcoming adversity through intentional actions. Spiritual resilience. Spiritual resilience is your ability to maintain a higher meaning and altruistic perspective both during happier and difficult times. Spirituality resilient people aren't limited to their mind's attraction to short-term gratification. They seek the good, not necessarily the pleasant. Their beliefs aren't shackled by burdensome dogmas. Instead, they use their positive beliefs to benefit the mankind. They see every human being as precious and are generous in giving their compassion. Through maximizing your potential in each of these four dogmas emerges your individual resilience. Through our collective individual resilience emerges organizational resilience. Research shows that the greatest destroyer of organizational resilience are workplace conflicts, toxic workplace politics, constant demand, resource imbalance, perceived lack of control, and lack of meaning. Research also shows that the two greatest resource of individual resilience are one's own inner strength and one's relationship. Hence, enhancing individual resilience, improving workplace camaraderie, optimizing demand with resources, and providing control and meaning are the key elements that can enhance organizational resilience. Resilience organizations create resilient societies, resilient nations, and ultimately resilient world. In this book, my focus will be on practices to enhance your individual cognitive, emotional, and spiritual resilience that I believe will feed into the larger purpose. Resilient living is bringing these insights to your daily life and thus choose to live a life with courage and meaning. I like to define resilient living as living with intentionality, deeper presence, contentment, and kindness. Let's talk about each of these aspects. The four core components of resilient living. Okay. Intentionality, which is on the top here. Might be a little blurry. On the left side is deeper presence. The right side is center. Contentment. And on the bottom is kindness. Intentionality. Most animals spend their entire life driven by instincts and habits. A state of automaticity. In humans, automaticity traps us in the allure of short-term gratifications, the dread of imaginary fears, and the cobweb of ordinary ruminations, all fastened by incessant mind wanderings. Living with an instinct-driven, automatic mind is like driving a car without holding the steering wheel. Such a car is bound to wander off its lane onto the rumble strip and eventually into the ditch. If you wish to govern your life with conscious choices, you'll need to break free of this automaticity by cultivating intentionality. Intentionality means taking charge by becoming an active participant in the flow of life. At a restaurant, you don't tell the waiter to just get whatever. You carefully pick the food that best matches your plate and wallet. Similarly, Intentional living involves carefully choosing your thoughts, words, and actions. Intentionality helps you maximally use the phenomenal thinking power of your brain. An intentional mind thinks about life's meaning and aligns the short-term actions with its long-term meaning. Such a mind is disciplined, virtuous, engaged, and filled with hope and possibilities. It chooses to think thoughts, speak words, and engage in life's pursuits based on timeless values. The three most important skills that can help you strengthen intentionality are deeper presence, contentment, and kindness. Deeper presence. Our innate presence is superficial and partial because of fragmented and weak attention. During most conscious moments, we have two planes of present, one in which we are doing and one in which we are thinking. Lack of congruence between physical and physiological presence blocks authentic, undistracted engagement with life. Just as drillers dig a deeper well to access the water table or oil to assess the well of wisdom, you need to fashion a deeper presence by strong attention. With such presence, you start seeing patterns in a random landscape. You appreciate details you hadn't seen before. Your error rate goes down. You learn to discern complexity more easily. You become less reactive. When you immerse fully in life, your entire day becomes a flow of experience. You need deeper presence in order to fully engage with the people you connect with each day. An undistracted, caring presence can be tremendously healing to both the giver and the receiver. Loving relationships, lasting friendships, professional partnerships, creative pursuits. You cannot achieve excellence in any of these without deeper presence. Such presence isn't innate to most of us, and it requires effort to cultivate. The good news is that with effort, you build capacity. So with time, your innate attention becomes stronger, translating into spontaneous deep presence. Your deeper, authentic, undistracted presence gifts you with a fuller life driven by your core values of contentment and kindness. Contentment. Contentment is a deep feeling of fulfillment that emerges from the daily practice of gratitude. As we advance emotionally and spiritually, we pass through three phases with respect to contentment. Phase 1, lack of contentment. In this phase, we strive for the world's attention and busy ourselves collecting toys to thwart boredom and help us climb on the social totem pole. A proportion of us close our life's books after having climbed barely a few rungs on this ladder. With so many rungs still unscaled, we experience only occasional sprinkles of contentment. We don't realize that the game we are playing is rigged. Our mind's expectations and desires naturally stay a step ahead of our accomplishments. A state of programmed dissatisfaction, relying on our mind's natural state to find contentment, is a recipe for failure. Phase 2, contentment. Those who realize the above wisdom amid their striving dig deeper. They discover and taste the delicacy of gratitude and acceptance. Contentment naturally flows. Contentment provides them respite and fresh energy. It frees their attention so they can focus on living a meaning-filled life through enhancing the well-being of their fellow travelers. The state of contentment slowly progresses to the third phase, which curiously again brings discontent. This time, however, the discontent is different and it signifies real progress. Phase 3, contentment with dissatisfaction. People in this third phase are dissatisfied because even though they are content with their accomplishments and possessions, they can't accept the status quo of the world, with countless beings experiencing unimaginable pain and suffering. They want to help and are passionate about making the world a happier and kinder place. They aren't content with their own comforts. They wish to share their peace and joy with others. They create transformations through inventions, expeditions, revolutions, and more. They strive to decrease suffering. Such striving is anchored by humility, empowered by compassion. Lack of contentment now provides energy tremendously, increases social awareness, and fuels passion. An invariable accompaniment of discontent is kindness. Kindness, world over, the single most desirable trait in your partner, friend, parent, teacher, neighbor, colleague, or child is kindness. Kindness is the daily practice of compassion. Kindness has countless expressions. Patience with someone who seems slower than usual. Forgiveness for the waiter who spilled water on your shirt. The ability to provide a loving, gentle presence at home. Lack of judgment towards someone who looks different. Humility in accomplishments. The ability to speak softly even in argument. All are different expressions of kindness. Kindness isn't easy to consistently embody. It takes superhuman effort to remain kind while experiencing personal adversity, unkind treatment, stress, or anger. It is in these situations, however, that kindness is most needed. A kind anchor provides a much-needed self-control and clarity of thinking that will prevent an argument from breaking a relationship. For example, if you are committed to kindness, even if your partner is snappy one evening, you won't immediately react. The clarity of thinking that kindness provides will help you exercise self-control so you can look past his or her reactivity. Such kindness needs practice, just as a tree doesn't strengthen its roots the night of the storm. You can't develop kindness overnight. You'll have to practice it in the littlest experiences. To the moth visiting your home, the telemarketer who trespasses into your peace, and the airline agent who botches your flight booking. With practice, you'll become instinctively kind. Kindness will become effortless and will require no active thought. When your primordial instinct becomes that of kindness, you start gifting your kindness to everyone you touch. This change transforms your life. You create your own little heaven that walks with you wherever you go. Come, let's immerse ourselves in a journey that'll take us there. Okay, and that's about all that I want to give for this segment, because I'm just not going to